Yeah, so the issue of pitch decks is this big world. We've had these pitch decks now for about 20 or 30 years, and the arcane knowledge about how to do them is critical, and everyone wants to talk about the pitch decks. It can be confusing. The first thing to understand is that there's multiple pitch decks. One is just the intro pitch deck, which you send to try to get the meeting. Then there's the first meeting pitch deck, then there's the second meeting pitch deck, and then there's the partnership meeting pitch deck, which generally tends to be the first meeting pitch deck again, because for a long story. But just for the intro pitch deck, okay? Understand that there's 4 different types of pitch decks, and you're going to have different pitch decks for each investor you give. You want to really customize each pitch deck for each investor, okay? But given that, if you're doing an intro pitch deck, the idea for me would be that it should be 6 to 12 slides. It shouldn't be more than that. You really need to be succinct. And this is hard because you're acting like a COO, looking at the details of your business, trying to make it work. And what you need to do is sort of elevate up, make much more succinct, much more high level, so that a guy like me can understand where you are in the universe and that we should take a meeting. And for me, I'm looking for, what market are you addressing? The first thing I would need to know is, what market are you addressing and who is your target customer? Is it women between 35 and 45? Is it HR managers in Fortune 500 companies? Specifically, who are you looking at? Then I need to understand what your traction is. Where are you in the ladder of proof? Do you have a team? Do you have advisors? Do you have a beta product? Do you have users yet? Do you have retained users? Do you have any revenue? Where are you in your traction in building this business? That's the next thing I need to know. Then the third thing is, what's the business model? So, how much are you charging? How frequently are you charging it? Who are you charging specifically? And then what's the margin on that? Are you selling software at 96% margin? Are you taking a rake on a marketplace where you're getting 10%? Explain where that business model is. And then looking at the acquisition costs and the lifetime value, that can be debunked in lots of ways, but it's generally useful as a benchmark just to get a sense, particularly in the intro deck, about how good this business is. Many of the best businesses sort of discover a business that no one knew, like an Uber did, or like a Bird did, or like a Airbnb did. They discovered markets no one understood, and understanding what that business model is and how it's playing out so far is super useful. The next thing I need to know about is the team. What's your background? How long have you worked together? And where are you located? Many founders forget to put that. Where are you located and how many people are on the team? That's just useful information to know because geography does matter. The next thing I'm looking for would be competition. You are the Indiana Jones of this market space for me. Your ability to know about the market is so much better than mine. You need to lead me through the jungle of your market. And even the intro you will not dissuade me from meeting with you by showing me all your competition. By showing me all your competition, I'll understand your market space better, and I'll have a lot more confidence that you're the one who's figuring out how to win the space. Because ultimately, I'm going to have to figure out what the market looks like anyway, and if you can shortcut me to that and show me why you're better really quickly, that's the most powerful way to communicate in your intro deck what the situation is. And then the last thing I look for in the intro deck is just, how big does this company get in the next 5 years? Not detailed projections, but over the next 5 years, what's your revenues? What are your costs? What's your margin look like? How many customers do you have? Whatever the metrics are that are relevant to building your business, that's the kind of thing I'm interested to see. Are you going to get to 50 million in 7 years, in 4 years? Just to get a general sense of it, so that I can see how you're thinking about it. And that's generally enough to give us a good sense of what your business is and who you are.